I have been a massive advocate for video for over 10 years now, and I think storytelling is the fastest way for people to get to know who you are.
You kind of have to get a bit of your personality across. People want to know the people that they buy from now.
Hi, and welcome back to the Mindset and Marketing Podcast. My name is Matthew Toman, and I am your co-host for today's show, joined by
Sharon Kirkpatrick. Hello, everybody.
Hello. So again, just to remind you, the Mindset and Marketing Podcast is jargon-free information around everything mindset and everything marketing. Two of the most important things that I believe you need to master to achieve everything you want to in your life. Mindset and marketing, it's two of the most important things. So what's the crack?
Clues in the name, guys. It's in the name.
I know the clues in the name, yeah. Very like on the nose with that one.
Yeah.
What is the, how have you been?
Good, yeah. I'm finally over all the drastic, terrible sickness, so I'm happy about that. I feel back to normal
coughing
again. No.
No coughing,
Voice is
that's
normal.
Gonna be weird. You look great.
Thanks.
Get your
I think it's the lights. Yeah, I got my hair cut. Trying to get my quiff back. So it's work in progress.
No. Okay. I know every time you said the other day you were going to get your hair cut, and I was like, aren't you trying to grow it? I thought you were trying to grow your hair.
No, it's around the sides, because then it just all gets a bit unmanageable.
Oh, yeah. Do you think you'll go that short again as you did before?
No, I think I've kind of done that now, I was on with a client. I was on with a client just before this recording, and he was like, God, I love your hair. He's American. And he was like, I used to have my hair like that back in the day. And I was like,
God, hilarious.
I was like, thank you, I think.
Yeah, that's funny. I think it was. So how's your week been? What have you been up to? Now I can actually ask you, and I don't really know.
I know. Well, the thing is, unfortunately for you and everybody else listening, not a lot, because I was trying to get over, all the drama of sickness. So mostly what I've been spending my time doing is binging TV. Sorry to say, you shouldn't start your new year like that, but I had to.
Wait till you hear what I watched yesterday.
What?
Like all day. So on my house now, there's like, I haven't logged into all of my apps yet. All of like Disney and all that stuff. So I'm watching this like free version of like I don't know. It's you go onto like a channel. Do you know it was on like a full channel? And I didn't watch it. Drew Barrymore's show. Like her talk show, and I was like, oh my God, I watched like 5 minutes of it. I couldn't even cope.
It's
and then
too nice.
Through. I end up far too nice. Well, I went from one extreme to the other. I end up watching seriously back to back all day yesterday, flaked on the sofa, eating ice cream, crap food, like season 7, Married at First Sight UK.
So you went back?
It was just what was on. So it just was rolling. And then the only reason why I stopped is because it actually got to a point where it went back to the first one that I'd seen that day. And I was like, okay, I've went too far. So I need to get up and get out of here. This
is so funny because we must be on like the same trajectory, because, I never really watch reality shows. I just watch true crime documentaries. Pretty much it.
Yeah.
But yesterday, because I had been ill, I kind of watched everything there was to watch. So there was nothing in my genre anymore to watch. And Netflix recommended this thing. It's like a reality show on Netflix called The Trust. And I watched 4 episodes back to back, and they're about an hour long. So that's 4 hours of crap that I just completely consumed. And I was raging because I watched the 4 that was available, and it's not over yet, but they haven't released the rest yet. It's coming on Wednesday. So I'm like, I'm
so
hooked.
You're patiently waiting. I know. Well, I had a great weekend. I actually went for dinner on Saturday with Simona and Dario.
Oh, I've seen that. Guys who used to work with us.
Simona and Dario used to work in Bankhouse Media. They were I opened Bankhouse Productions 2014, Bankhouse Media in 2018, and Simona started with me like right at the start. I just had the office. It was only me and Daniel, Simona, and there was a few other freelancers and stuff there, and he got recommended to me by one of my videographers. And then he came and he was just like, and then he said, oh, can my friend Dario come and work for us? He's a good graphic designer. And I said, yeah, no worries, that's cool. And then he broke it to me about 2 months later that they were actually boyfriends. I was like, oh my God.
Good
How
move,
can
Simone.
I can't sack one of yous now. Not that I wanted to be honest with you. They were great. So they were
I
there
love
right
them.
from the start. And yeah, they're brilliant. They were asking about you actually. They were asking about everybody and Daniel.
What a-
And they know my mom and dad and everybody. They know everybody.
So are they over in LA for a bit as well then?
Well, they have their visa here, so they've been here, I think, for a couple of years now. I seen them the last time I was here, but the other day I just happened to see they were back, and I replied to one of their stories, and they were like, "You live beside here, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I just jumped in the car and flew around. We end up sitting for hours, just having food and catching up about loads of things. And yeah, it's great to know they're just around the corner, you know.
They must do what you do, because I seen that they're originally from Italy, and I seen that they were back in Italy, so they must just go home for the holidays and that and catch up and then head back to the sunshine.
They went home for 22 days, and I don't think they'll ever do that again.
Like you, it was too much.
Well, I went for 4 months, for God's sake, you know, in the end. But
Us
yeah,
poor people in Ireland, like, you know, you can't get rid of us quick enough.
I don't think I'll do like that length of time again. I'll probably do more shorter ones, you know.
And have you have you settled into there's a call? Have you settled into the time difference in that now? Are you fully caught up?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm feeling so much better. I've been going to bed at like 10 o'clock and waking up at 6:30 a.m.
8.5 hours. That's good.
Yeah, I said that to Daniel today. I was like, "Oh my God, I slept for like and he was like, "What are you talking about? That's like I do that every day. Like not that time, but that length of hours." And I'm like, I usually go to bed at like 12 and wake up at flipping 6 o'clock or 6:15.
Yeah,
So
you never know
really,
when you're
really
going to
trying
call.
to like. I know I'm really trying to get back into my like. I'm back wearing an eye mask again, which is great.
Do you think that helps? I don't know if I could sleep with an eye
Oh.
mask on.
No, I'll send you a link to the one that I have. Daniel got me it. It's like it feels like a massage. It's like silk, cushioned.
You know
put
though,
it
if
on
like
it,
you
Daniel,
put your
that feels
head,
good.
you know, if you put your head in a pillow and then it starts scrunching up on your face and all.
No, nothing scrunching. This is silk. Like there's nothing scrunching. Yeah.
Well, I
definitely
actually
nothing.
sleep quite well on 90% of the time, so thankfully,
Yeah, you're
all
you're
good.
good at that.
if you have
yeah.
if you've scudded me, then we're
Yeah.
in trouble.
I went and done Runyon Canyon as well, like a hike that I love to do. But I'm telling you now, I went to the gym all last week and I done a really heavy leg day, but I couldn't get parking and I had to park at the way down the bottom of the hill. So I had to walk like this to get to the bottom of the trail. And I swear to God, I got to the bottom of it and I was nearly going to go back. I was racked from walking up the hills to get to the actual like park. To get to Runyon Canyon, I was absolutely racked. My legs are in bits.
Belfast is all pretty flat, you know. You're not used to doing
Yeah.
like inclines. It's like your
I
legs
needed,
going, what
like,
the fuck?
My hiking gear with me, you know. But then I ended up going on anyway, and it was brilliant. So I love it so much, you know.
So you basically chilled out, hiked, had some nice food this weekend.
Went shopping, got loads of good food, had some nice sushi. Went like done all that.
Nice.
Chilled, met up with some people, and yeah, had a great weekend.
Good. I went out on Saturday, right? With friends, and I met your mum and dad and that. They were in the same bar
yeah.
because Rachel was playing, and I was home and in bed by 12:30.
What? Are you serious?
Maybe this is a new
I thought
me.
you would have brought everybody back to your house.
No, your mum and dad were heading. They were out with Wilma. They were heading on. So I was
No, I
like,
meant
oh my
all your
goodness.
friends, though. I meant all your friends
Oh.
in Moira, no?
No, that's what I mean. I'm a changed woman. 2024.
Yeah.
No more late
Yeah.
nights.
Well, I was trying to, like, you know, it's funny here because I've got my computer propped up on, I ended up buying, so I'm still addicted to Prime. But I did do a deep dive on some research on them and to find out, you know, are they that bad for you? Because I'm really enjoying taking them. There's only 10 calories in them, no sugar, like all loads of stuff. But I end up buying 24 pack on Amazon. They got delivered yesterday. That's what I'm propping up my computer with here, so that I keep my eye line sort of decent.
Are you limiting yourself to one a day?
No. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes. Every time I work out, yeah. Like I can't take them before. I can't take them if I don't work out. or if I don't go into a hike or something, like it's not possible. You have like the shakes. There's 200 milligrams of caffeine in them, and in a Red Bull there's 80.
Well, we've said it before, like you don't drink
2.5 Red Bull back to back.
You don't drink, you don't smoke, you know, so Prime can be your thing. Now, if you Googled like, hey Google, is Prime really that bad for you? You're going to get what you want to hear back.
No, I watched YouTube videos and watched these doctors like talking about it. Serious?
Yeah.
Do it yourself. If you can find anything, if anybody can find anything negative about them, send them to me because I do want to know, you know.
I'm not going to ruin the one thing that you have.
Yeah.
We'll just let you have it.
Well, let's just see. So what is on the agenda today?
Well, we're changing it up a bit because obviously last podcast we talked about New Year's resolutions mostly. So we're just going to try and stick to one topic to keep them a bit shorter if we can, because you probably can't be bothered listening just for a full hour. We get that. We try to be interesting, but we know that, you know, attention spans and all that. So I thought we should talk about the power of video for your business.
Okay.
And then kind of like just looking at some kind of trends for 2024, some of which people might be aware of and some that maybe they haven't really thought about.
Yeah.
Because video sells, so...
Video is the best thing out there, you know, and one of my 2024 resolutions is to really get on top of like my YouTube channel and like understand like get to know that platform way more, you know. We're getting like a few views now, over 1,000 views per podcast, which we're delighted about, and streams on Spotify as well. So look, we use these videos across all our platforms really, but this year is the first year, as I was saying, that we built everything and we want to get market in it. I have been a massive advocate for video for over 10 years now. And I think storytelling is the fastest way for people to get to know who you are, long form content, being honest and open on video as much as you possibly can. Even on these podcasts, I feel like we talk about a lot more stuff than I would normally, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm not as good really on my own personal social media as much now as what I used to be, and I think this is a really good outlet because then I can get it all out in one go.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's not just enough to go on and talk about a product or a service. You kind of have to get a bit of your personality across. People want to know the people that they buy from now, you know, and yes, copywriting is amazing at doing that, you know, and converting converting potential clients, but nothing does it like video, you know. Like I think the most recent, you know, the stats are coming out. What was it? 78% of marketers have said that video has helped increase their sales. Like if you look at any show us a brand out there that's doing a great job and not using video. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, video takes a bit of confidence, you know, because a lot of time, it takes confidence and it takes time to be able to create these things, and it takes a wee bit of planning. So a lot of the time people maybe just push it to the side because they're not sure what to say. They think maybe people don't want to hear what they have to say, or they don't know how to create the video, you know, and then that kind of stops them from doing it. But the power of 2024 and the last few years is that now more than ever, it doesn't have to be professionally shot content every time. You know, if it's going on your website, yes, obviously, you know, you want that to look top notch. But if you're conversing with clients or prospects through your social media channels, it doesn't have to be the most professionally created thing in the whole entire world anymore. You know, you get forgiven now. You're allowed to jump on your phone and record a video talking to. It's not so much about the quality. I mean, obviously if you can't freaking see anything and you can't make out what you're saying, you know, that's not going to fly. But I mean, nowadays you can use your phone to engage and create this content yourself.
We're shooting these podcasts on our phones. You know, that's on our phones. And, you know, there's so much there with like the apps like CapCut that can cut down and put captions on it. There's no excuse for anybody not having video now. Like years ago, whenever I started, we would have, for one video podcast, I can remember we used to charge $3,500 to shoot a podcast, to shoot like a video, and the client paid it because they understood the value in it. And they used to do one every 2 weeks. And they spent a lot of money with us at the time, but their business grew to a point where they were able to sell it for a lot of money. Because they used video for everything. Used professional video, they used mobile phone video, they used all this different stuff. And they were able to do that and have a very successful business that was able to scale and then sell. And, you know, so anybody who's out there and saying like they can't use video right now, it's like, that's not an excuse anymore. You need to figure out what is really going on. You know, why do you not want to use video? What is actually going on with you that you won't put yourself in front of the camera? Or, you know, what are you afraid of? Or what have you got to lose? Or people are always afraid of what people think. Like, I still get that very rarely, to be honest, in comparison to years ago.
We still get it, you know, when we talk on the podcast and, you know, all of that, because you do want to create content that people are engaging with and that they care about or they want to hear, you know. So you don't know until you put it out, you know, whether or not it's and sometimes, you know, some things will be received really, really well and other times not so much. But whenever you put it all out there and you start to see what people are engaging with, then you can kind of tailor the content, you know, to reflect what it is that people want to kind of hear you talking about. But unless you put it out there, you're not gonna know. And like we say all the time, you know, if you're not doing it, your competitors are doing it, and then they're going to be more engaging online than you are, and therefore you could potentially lose your customers to your competitors, you know. So we got to stop making excuses and find the time and find the confidence to go with it, you know.
Yeah. And it's more like, going ahead.
Oh no, work away.
Just on that note, I was more thinking about where I used to be like, oh God, do I look okay? No, I'm happy with how I look in this camera because I went and, you know, prepared myself. But there was times that I wouldn't have put content out because I was like, no, that looks too bad. Or even, you know, I've got so much better, and I continue to try to be like, look, just throw it up, it's grand, get it out. Do you know what I mean? Because it's gone in a minute, you know. Even whenever it comes to like the reels that go out now, that there's so many of them, and like I can't sign off on every single one because I would be nitpicking through it. Where I'm just like, look, can somebody else sign off on those? If they look and sound good, and you all know, like, just let it go, you know. Let it go.
And one thing you said before, which is so true, you know, people will forgive like a bad visual, you know, if it's a bit grainy or whatever, or the background isn't sitting perfect, but they're not going to forgive bad sound. So that's the one thing to think about. Like, and it's not saying that you have to stand with a microphone. I mean, if you can get a microphone, do, because they're cheap. You can plug them straight into your phone and it's no problem. But if you can't do that, at least just be in a quiet space where people can actually hear what you're saying.
Close the window.
That's the big thing.
Close the window. Don't be beside like traffic. Like there's certain things you can do. A lot of it comes down to common sense. Like, I mean, all of it comes down to common sense in my opinion.
I'm just thinking about a time whenever we were shooting and everything had been set up and organised to a T, and then next thing, start recording, and about 30 minutes in, construction work starts across the road, and it was the loudest drilling, hammering, you name it. It was going on, and we had to stop. You have to make a call. Like, if there's things, you can plan so much, but if something like that happens, don't just continue on and then share it, because you're going to wind people up something shocking if they're trying to listen to what you're saying and all they're hearing is, you know, drilling. It's not going to fly.
Whenever we were making movies, you not believe many times I went round to like a building site and was like, guys, can you give us like 30 minutes, you know, of silence? And they said, yeah. Like, I've never had a time where they said no. Never. I've just said, like, hey, is there any way that you could help out here? You know, if there's construction going on, sometimes we've got a location for a whole day and it's just like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. And we're like, look, what can we get in like an hour? And we just said, I'm like, what time do you take your lunch? Could you give us 30 minutes now? You know, what your tea break, you know, what time do you finish at? And like communicating with them, you know. But for a movie, it's completely different. It's really, really, really important Do you know what I mean? Like, because you go into post-production on a podcast or something, we could have said, look, let's pause this for now and we'll come back tomorrow. You know, I'll just leave the setup setting and then just go from there, you know?
Yeah. Opposite a big film production crew. Guys, will we just hold on for like a day?
You lose so much money in like a day.
That's
you know,
happening.
And it is something that's like, it's out of your control, you know?
Well, I thought that I was looking into kind of what the marketing trends for videos are in 2024. So just for anybody out there who is creating video and wondering what video they should be creating, or for people who haven't yet started creating videos, just kind of running through the kind of top things that we should be doing with our videos in 2024. So the first one, most obvious one, is short form content. So we don't have attention spans anymore, people. Because of social media, we literally want to see and get the information within like 15 seconds, you know, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. So I think for moving forward, obviously there's long form content that you can create, you know, but what you should be trying to do is ensuring that you're including short form content, so 15-second videos to 60-second max, to get kind of your points across. And you'll see that and you'll feel that yourself whenever you're on your social media channels and you're on that scroll hole and you literally give it a second. And if it's not grabbed your attention, you just fly on by. So that's kind of what we're talking about there. It's like keeping it short and sweet, if you can.
Yep, keep it short and sweet. And then just, you know, keep it engaging as well. Like with loads of the apps right now, there's like, you can put movement in, you can put text on it, you can put B-roll on it. And it's quite easy to do, you know, if you ever need any help with doing that. Like we obviously provide that as a service, but it's so easy to do yourself. Like you don't, you know, a YouTube video can teach you how to do it, to be honest. And but like a lot of our clients that do it with us, like they want us to look after their video and stuff. They don't want to. That's not a part of their wheelhouse, and it's not something they want to do, you know.
And sometimes people come to us because they don't have the confidence to create the videos, or they don't know what to be creating. So we'll create a strategy for them in terms of what they should be saying and how they can do it. But in terms of actually creating the video yourself, you can prop up your phone. Like this is recording on my phone now. And you can then put that into an app. Like Matthew, you'd said one earlier, CapCut. Mm-hmm. And that'll add captions and everything to you, for you.
And also Adobe Premiere Pro, is it? Adobe. We have like accounts on that. They've made it so easy for like drag and drop and cut through. And do you know, if you give it a go and you like it, that could be a job for you as well, because people are always looking for editors and they're always looking for social media content creators. Mm-hmm. And you might end up trying it for yourself and saying, do you want to know what? I actually kind of like this. I'm going to then, you know, help other people with it as well. Like, you know, I have so many people contact me all the time. I've got 2 really good guys at the minute working for us that are great at editing short form content, you know, have really good instincts and really good skill set.
And literally that can just be you. If it's short, you know, you can just be in front of your camera and you can be talking about your product. You can be explaining how it works or your service works. You can be talking about a member of the team. You could be giving an insight into the behind the scenes, like whatever it is goes on in your business behind the scenes. Like there's so many little short videos that you can create.
And these are the main videos that you would want to do for your business. If you're going to do like just, okay, what do I need for my business? If I was going to start it, you would want an introduction video of who you are, you know, what is it you do, what, you know, just like, hi, my name is Matthew, I'm the Bankhouse Media Group, here's what we do. And it gives people an insight into it. So whenever they land on your page, if they don't want to read through it all, that they can watch a video that just press play and gives them all that information. Then you also want testimonials. If you can get testimonial videos for your business, record those. They're going to serve you so well. Hi, I use Bankhouse Media and I had a brilliant experience. Hi, I'm at the Mindset and Marketing Academy and I'm having a ball. You know, whatever that may be, whenever they're coming through, it's going to help your business so much more. Then you want the third one is like for as Sharon said there, it's like the authority pieces on showing your expertise. So if you have a sewing company, you want to show people how you do that. Like, why are you the best? What sets you apart? What brings you to be the best? And then, and you know, if you have those 3 types of videos, you'll be able to market your business anywhere, you know. Your how-to videos talking about the pains of what people are going through and how you solve them. Educational videos as well, teaching people, look, this is how you do this. We have lots of different videos in each of these areas, and they all do well for different reasons. Some will go viral and get like a lot of views. Some will get like smaller amount of views, but it doesn't even matter if they get a small amount of views. The thing is, if someone is watching your introduction video and you have 100 views on that, that's 100 more people that know what your business does. That's 100 more people that could potentially come in. So if your cost of good is £100 and you converted 10 of those, that's £1,000 you could potentially make out of those 100 views. You know, so many people are caught up on subscribers and views and likes and reshares and all these different things. I could tell you now, there's been people actually watched my TikTok account, which does not have many followers and does not get a lot of views, but they liked the style of content that we shot and wanted that shot for their business. We got a really good sale just out of that. So putting content out, you don't always have to think, okay, it's not getting any views, I'm going to pull it down. Don't do that. Leave it up. Who cares? Let it sit there. Because it's coming into like a vanity thing. Get your ego out of the way and just get your everything out of the way and just leave the videos up and let them go, because you have to build from somewhere. And that is something that I would suggest. But those 4 different types: introduction video, testimonials, how to, what you're working through your product, exactly what it is you do, and then educational. And I think that is something that you'll be able to have those dotted throughout your website, dotted throughout your social media. And if you stick to those 4, you will definitely see more sales within your business. There's no question about it.
No. And the thing is, if you're sharing them on Reels or on TikTok or whatever, and you're using the hashtags, you're getting more exposure as well. You know, it's not just people on your page that's seeing that. You know, a lot of the times if you've got a video on your website, you know, you have to bring people to your website to see it. But if you're creating Reels and TikToks, you know, there is algorithms there that will share that content based on what somebody likes, if you're adding the relevant hashtags or keywords or whatever. So whenever you're uploading them, make sure that you put the time in to add the hashtags, add your description and all of that, because then you're getting the additional exposure that the algorithms are going to do for you, you know. So 100% it's something, that you need to, if you're not doing it, start doing it now and see what happens. Be consistent with it, you know, at least do 1 or 2 a week, you know, and just keep that going. And then you will see the results in the end. Short form video content was the first one that we just covered. Live streaming. People want to see more live action from everybody in 2024. That's a difficult one, but it works.
Do you know what? I have see in lockdown, I wish I had done this, and I think I said this before in the podcast. I said, wonder what would happen if I just put like cameras in my apartment and streamed them.
I know.
Do you know whenever I lived in the Oval?
Look at Big Brother. How much do people love that? Do you remember you could log in and just watch them at sleeping?
Oh, Rachel used to watch them sleeping. See, if I could have at that time, I wish I had done that. And even now, I'm thinking in this place, wonder could I just stream? I think that I would love to do that at some point. Even the other day, where I was thinking about the last day that we were doing our podcast, filming with Youssef in Belfast, I was thinking we should have live streamed that as well. You know, I was thinking that at the time. But I didn't do that.
Well, we'll hold our hands up here and say that we don't do that. So that's one that we're going to do in 2024.
I want to start doing that. I'd love to live stream like literally 24/7.
And it's easy. You just go onto your social media platform and hit live, and then it'll go live. Now, obviously, Paul's right. Don't just go live for the sake of going live. You know, the thing about going live is that just make sure a couple of things. Make sure you announce it beforehand so people can now people will just jump on because the social channels actually pop up and say such and such has just went live, you know, to encourage people to like click in. But it is always good to give kind of your customer base or followers a bit of notice. So because if they want to log in, you know, they'll try and plan it so they're available at that time. So try and announce it beforehand so that people know when to have that time free. And then the other thing is define kind of the goal of the live. You know, don't just go on and start waffling. You know, so for example, if the goal is I want to sell tickets to this event, well, that's easy. So you're going to talk about, you know, when the event is, the benefits to them of attending, who it's for, what kind of people would get the most out of it, talk a bit about the topics of the event, you know, all of that. Or if it's to
Why don't we do this live, this podcast live sometimes? Just like turn on the cameras and go live and do it.
Could do. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there.
That's okay. Another one is like you could do a Q&A session. So the goal could be to answer or to potentially promote a product or service, and you're going to do that through a Q&A. So you would go live and answer any questions or queries that your customer has about those products, explain a bit about how it works, you know, do all of that kind of stuff. So just define the goal first, why are you going live, and then ensure that the content relates to that. And then you just
let's do like live. Even a live. I can even do like a solo one, even to start with. Someday, whenever doing like question and answers, we have a couple, because there was this platform. I must find out what it was. It was for streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all at the same time. So you can set it up. I could set it up here with my cameras, and then I can go live on all those channels at the same time.
Nice. Yeah.
There's a girl, Debbie, actually in my group or in my circle. I might actually network. I might reach out to her and see how to do that.
Another tip for going live, maybe if you don't have too many followers yet or whatever, so you're thinking I'm not going to get the engagement, collaborate with somebody else for the live. You know, get somebody on who's maybe had an experience with your service or product, or is interested in it and wants to know more about it, and then you can do it together, you know, and then you're getting their followers as well. So yeah, that's all try and go live in 2024.
Okay, brilliant.
The next one is, we love this one because we obviously had Fernanda working with us. Fernanda, shout out, hiya. And she was pushing this like crazy to us. And it's sustainability storytelling. So whenever you hear that, you just think, oh, I'm just going to talk about what recycled like paper in my business. How can I bring that in? But more and more, you know, consumers are more like environmentally aware and conscious. So they want to know what your business is doing to be sustainable. So if you think about, and you see now that I've said that, right? Look at all of the adverts on the TV that you see now, and you'll find that a lot of them are somehow introducing a bit of sustainability there. So like IKEA done one recently with kids, right? So IKEA furniture is what they sell. But they done a video with kids who were in their bedrooms, which was obviously IKEA bedrooms, but they weren't talking anything about the furniture. They were talking about how the sea, and kids feeling like, you know, there's pollution in the sea and the whales are eating rubbish, you know, that kind of stuff. Nothing to do with the furniture at all. But they're talking about how they are being more conscious of the environment. And they're doing it because they know that people care about that. They want to see that a business cares. Now, it can be something as simple as, so if I'm thinking about us and how we would do that, well, we're an online marketing agency. We're like, we are completely paper free. Like we don't use any paper in the business whatsoever, you know. So we're reducing our impact that way. Now there's times you can't, but it's to be seen to be caring and to be doing what you can. I have an electric car. You have an electric car. It mightn't. We need to get like solar lights, because these aren't solar lights lighting up my face right now.
No, we're happy enough using a bit of electricity. But yeah, so that's one thing. And then what else is there?
If you can, and the big thing here is, especially if you're like a company that either have products or are using packaging, you can talk about that so easily, because if you're probably using sustainable packaging anyway, because it's going to be cheaper for you, and you talk about that, you do a wee cool video showcasing your fun, like class cool packaging and it's environmentally friendly, those are the kind of things that people just want to see more of online. So if you've got an opportunity to do it, think about it and try and add it into the video content that you've got. Next one, 2 more left, is user-generated content. And what that means for anybody who doesn't know is obviously it's where you get your customers, a bit like testimonials that Matthew was talking about. You get your customers to record a video of their experience in working with you or using your product or using your service. And then you obviously can share that they'll be sharing it on their platforms and tagging you, and then you can share it on yours. Like that does a million different things, you know. You're getting a wider reach, especially if you're working with maybe some of your customers who have huge followers, but you're also building confidence in potential clients because, you know, you're proving the proof is in the pudding. There's people talking about how much they enjoyed that product or service. Like user-generated content is like gold for businesses now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it is good.
But it is hard to get because you're obviously relying on your client to take the time out and do that for you. So if you're struggling with getting that kind of information, then try and offer incentives for clients to do it, because it will pay you back. You know, it could be like 10% off your next order if you send us this video in, or, you know, whatever, I don't know, but a free
even if you pay like an influencer to do it, if you have a relationship built with a series of online personalities and then or influencers, and then they can generate the content, and then you can reshare it and repost it and do what do you call it, where they do like you join two of them together, or you just post like it on yours or post on your stories, or collaboration, or you run it as an ad. If you run their stuff as an ad, it's actually really, really good, because you can take like one piece of content that they have made for you, you paid them for, or it was a collaboration, and then you can then run that as an ad for other people to see it, you know? Yeah.
That's probably the biggest one you want to get if you're thinking about all of them, short form and the user generated content. Finally, the last one, it's not really a type of video, it's more that you had talked about at the start, Matthew, which is tell a story. You know, don't try and, now this isn't going to be every time, you know, sometimes you're going to do like a testimonial, which you don't really have the control over, or you're doing a how-to video, but where possible, try and tell a story within the content that you're creating. And by that, what we mean is where it evokes some kind of emotion from the viewer. So that could be humor, that could make them laugh, or it could be an inspiring or emotional video. It could be something that makes them feel empathetic towards you, or, you know, whatever it is, some kind of emotion. So think of what it is that you're trying to do and come up with a story around that will evoke an emotion from your customer. Like one of the best videos that, now obviously this is just in Northern Ireland, that I seen last year was by, you've probably all seen it, for anyone who's in the north and south of Ireland, I think
that went viral worldwide though.
Yeah.
I think it went nuts.
Like Charlie's Bar in Enniskillen. So it's this wee local pub, and they actually recorded it on their mobile phone for a start. And it was about, basically it just followed this guy. It was Christmas time and he'd come out of his house, and then he was an older man, and he went to the grave to visit his wife. And then he was kind of trying to connect with people all the way to down the high street, and nobody was engaging with him. So he was on his own. And then he went into the bar, and there was a couple there with their wee dog, and the wee dog ran up to him. And then because the dog went up, that brought the couple over to talk to him. And then they sat down and joined him for a drink. And then I think, what did it end? There are no strangers here, only friends you haven't met yet. That was kind of the story that they were telling. And it went mental. Like it got viral, it was on the news and everything, like across the water.
Yeah. Oh no, it went everywhere. That kind of reminds me of your pub that you go to, Pretty Mary's. Like they'll bring their dogs in, and you always end up talking to people because they've got a dog. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're like, oh, what's his name, or what's going on, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely do think that, telling some sort of storytelling, I've been quite open in the past about various different things that have happened to me just with addiction and like going bankrupt and actually losing everything, which has been really, really difficult to talk about. You know what I mean? It's been very hard. Whenever to first do it, it was the hardest. But then whenever I seen how it was received and how supported I was through those times, I thought, you want to know what? That actually, that feels good. You know what I mean? That there's actually support out there. And then I got more confidence in sharing more. And then what happened then was the floodgates opened of people like engaging and, chatting about things. And I'm so glad I didn't. Or sorry, I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I did actually like do it. Because if I hadn't have done it, I don't think my business would have done as well. And I wasn't doing it for business at the time, by the way, and I'm never doing it for business, really. I just want people to sort of be more, a couple of things. Number one, me talking online about addiction helps me fulfill my sobriety. It puts me under a tiny bit of pressure. If I'm ever feeling like a bit ropey, like a bit like, oh God, I would love to go and get blocked right now, I will often talk about it on social media, on my stories, just so that gives me that little bit of a like, I don't know, that's how I use that specific part. But what happens whenever I do that is it opens up to like new people coming in, meeting people. Like I've told this story so many times. Through my video that I put up, I engaged somebody, followed me on social media, end up chatting. I was in Austin, he lived in Austin. We end up having breakfast and hanging out, But we only met through that YouTube video, because we had a common goal. We were both like sober and both like on a journey,
And I think the thing as well is, obviously as a business, right, you're putting videos out there because you're trying to get engagement and you're trying, in the end, running a business is about the profit. That's what the business is for, unless you're a not-for-profit. Mm-hmm. That's not who's going to be listening to this. But so a lot of the time then you might feel like a bit of like anxiety or doubt or lack of confidence in creating videos because you just think, oh, I don't want to be like, a pushy salesperson, on the other end of the camera. And that's the beauty of it now. You don't have to be. In fact, doing that's probably not going to do you any favors. People are not going to engage with that, whereas if you're able to tell a story like you did with, your addiction, like Charlie's Bar did, like all of these people do, you're telling the truth. And you're evoking an emotion, which is leading people then to either purchase or, and get in touch or whatever, because they then know that they're going to get value, because whatever feeling you've made them feel when they're watching that is what they want or what they can relate to, so it's not as salesy as it once was. It's more like you're helping people.
Well, I follow people that I relate to. I buy off people that I relate to, and that's just the way it is. It's like I follow a lot of people that make me laugh, and then often I will listen to what they're doing and engage through it. Or people that inspire me, like sports personalities that are really passionate and driven. I do like watching that as well, even though I'm not always into the sport that they play, but I do get into it because I'm actually inspired by that person, their drive and their skill set and that type of stuff. And then what they sell, I end up buying. Do you know what I mean?
And
like I genuinely, like I end up.
But you probably most times don't regret the purchase either, because
I don't at all.
You were engaged in what was going on, and then you felt good about then the outcomes after that.
Oh, there's like, as I always laugh, there's a basketball player that I always follow, and I think he's really inspirational. It's one of the reasons why I started drinking coffee again. He has a coffee brand. Do you know, I end up shopping in the Grove at the weekend and buying new clothes because I'd seen them on his stories,
Yeah.
And things like that. So we all are influenced by people that we're inspired by or that we can relate to. So if you can tell your story and relate to somebody that relates will want to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're going about it. And then what will happen by default or by accident is just like they will fall into your network and potentially buy the stuff that you're selling. And it's not being sleazy sales, because if you're selling something that you believe in, then other people believe in that as well. If you're just selling something you don't believe in, this isn't going to work for you. You can pay loads and loads of influencers and they'll go and sell all your stuff for you, and that's how you do that. But telling your own story yourself, if you don't believe in it and there's not a really good why behind it, this isn't for it. Don't do any of the stuff that I'm recommending, because, you know.
Yeah, and if anyone's ever struggling with a story, like where I find you can get nuggets for ideas is in client testimonials. You know, if clients ever complete some feedback, even like a Google review or something, and they'll literally outline, you know, all the benefits that they got from it and how, you know, they're if it's a positive review, of course. And they normally tell you things that you didn't even realize. And then you can use that as the kind of crux to the story and then build the story around that, because that's a real life story of somebody who has benefited from it and they're telling you why. So see if you can then relate or create a story around that, because you know, it's the truth.
Yeah. So get yourself on the video.
Yeah, so that's, I think the takeaway is, guys, get on the videos, short form,
You've no
lives
excuse.
if you can, user-generated content, tell a story, and always plan your content, like have a goal in mind. Don't just post something for the sake of posting it.
Yeah.
I think that's what sums it up. It doesn't have to be super professional. Make sure you get your sound right.
Yeah, get the sound, get a mic on Amazon. What is your what's your plan for the rest of the evening?
I have to phone Ilaria now. My wee niece lives in England, and whenever I phone her, it's an hour. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing next. Yeah. And then I'll have some dinner. What about you?
Well, it's only like 10:25, so I'm gonna go and I'm going to the gym now. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then it's Martin Luther King Day today.
Oh, okay.
So most of the places are like, I don't know, I think it's just all like post offices and stuff are closed. I think Amazon's still
like a bank holiday kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah. But the gym and all still open. Yeah. So it was like a long weekend. I didn't know until today. One of my friends asked me, like, are you enjoying the extended weekend? And I said, well, didn't even know what he meant. I was like, I've been up from flipping 6:30 and I've been on the phone from 6:45.
Well, you'll have to get out and celebrate now that you know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna meet a mate for lunch. So yeah, excited to get started. But so that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something from that. Anything you want, any queries around anything, please do reach out and speak to either myself or Sharon or one of the team. And yeah, we'd be glad to help. So thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye. See you.